I am so happy to be here today. There are a few organizations that I have felt so connected to and so proud of over the years as the Junior League of Dallas. Many of you know the history of the Junior League of Dallas, but many of you are newer members. I thought I would take the opportunity to tell you a little bit about Junior League through my lenses and experiences. And I would love to share with you some specific history on how headquarters came to be. I first was connected with the Junior League when I returned from college. My mother signed me up for the Junior League and the Garden Club. Fortunately, the Junior League taught me so many things about Dallas and myself. As you know, the provisional course taught me about the Dallas I didn't know and what it needed and how it could be improved. During my years, the League evolved from just providing our own volunteers and money to agencies to finding creative ways to support things across the city. For example, our volunteers would see the need for additional support at the organizations, such as the Dallas Museum of Art, the Arts Magnet High School, or Parkland, and would start volunteer groups for them. Another example of Junior League creatively solving problems was when we saw a hole in the market that could use an organization to serve the need. Examples of that included several projects when I was president, including the development of Art Reach and Treescape. On another note, the Junior League Ball was one of Dallas's top fundraisers for years. Then many other charities appeared on the scene. The league leadership approached me about what should we do with all the competition. Since most of these fundraisers were chaired by women taught by Junior League, my answer was, our purpose is to train volunteers, and we've done it. Celebrate what we've done for Dallas. Training volunteers to improve the community beyond work within the league. Over the years, the Junior League evolved from a small community organization to a powerhouse that deserved its own space in Dallas. This is some history that many of you may not know. The Junior League always officed in a shopping center. At the time, I was the first fully employed president. We were called professionals back then. As a businesswoman, it seemed to me that the league should own its office. Peggy Oglesby was my predecessor as president, and her husband was an architect, so we could talk buildings. We created a headquarters committee that researched where most of our members lived, the growth of the league, and the increase in need for committee space to determine the needed facility size. Until then, committee meetings were in members' homes, and there were no evening meetings. Location was quickly identified. We were so lucky at the time that we were able to find a lot and a vacant home next to the shopping center. It was perfect because it was easily accessible to much of the membership at the time. As you can imagine, though, it was on the edge of a residential neighborhood, so we had to convince most of the neighbors on Inwood that we were a desirable transition to the commercial center, which thankfully we were able to do. We spent some time on it. Once that was accomplished, we filed with the City Council for a planned unit development designation. Since I lived in Dallas and Peggy didn't, I made the presentation before the City Council as incoming president. It was enthusiastically accepted, with many nice things being said about the Dallas Junior League. So not only was it good news for our new campus, but a reassuring message from the City Council about all the good work Junior League was doing to help our community. And even better news, because you know these things aren't free, before the concept of a permanent headquarters was presented to the membership for a vote, we had the land under contract, the PUD approved, and $400,000 donated for an endowment. So it passed overwhelmingly. I think there were more votes against some minor Junior League bylaw change than building our own home. It was much fun at the time because the day I took office as president, June 1st, I believe, was the same day we bought the property. Several friends said they didn't think the league could afford me to be president for very many days. It was monumental for us and meant that the Junior League had turned a major corner toward its future. Having a visible, permanent home in the community would help reconfirm our commitment to supporting those in need for generations to come. After the land was purchased, fundraising and design committees were formed. The Building Design Committee identified several important criteria. These included the structure had to look like a house to blend into the neighborhood. There couldn't be parking in front of it. There would not be a tea room, as Houston had in its headquarters. Timeless would be the criteria used inside and outside the building. Thanks to the work of the committees, the headquarters opened in 1985, and we have been happily using it ever since. Last year, updates to the building, after all these 40 years, included opening the Cornerstone. The following is my letter that was in the Cornerstone. I had long since forgotten about it. To whom it may concern, on the occasion of the building of the headquarters for the Junior League of Dallas, I take this opportunity to reaffirm our organization's commitment to volunteerism. For 61 years, we have trained volunteers for service in the Dallas community, and in 1983, we have over 1,400 active members volunteering in 54 community aid projects. During this year, over 300 members will participate in a provisional course which introduces them to the city and to the Junior League. This building was planned, funded, and dedicated by volunteers who care about the future of Dallas and the Junior League of Dallas. It is our hope that this Junior League will continue to actively contribute to the life of our city, encouraging its members to provide the best in volunteer involvement, financing worthy projects, and determination to strive for something better in ourselves and for those around us. The members of the Junior League of Dallas, 1982-83, Lyda Hill, President. Help in getting the headquarters built was a highlight of my involvement with the League. I have so many more memories of my time as an active with the League. I would like to share just a couple of these before I wrap up. As president, I visited all the agencies where we had volunteers. In one agency, I spotted the back of a rocking chair. When I saw around the front, I saw a wonderfully large woman rocking a baby. That is when I realized that everyone had a talent and could be a volunteer. That lady had a large lap and patience I would never have. That is what is so wonderful about the League, the ability to connect each of us and our special talents to places that we can make a difference. Let me conclude with a more personal story. As education chairman in the 1970s, we put on a lot of interesting programs. One of the programs was on how to do breast cancer self-exam. I knew so little about the subject at the time that I didn't realize that way back then that actives were too young to be doing self-exam, so no one signed up. I called my committee frantically and said they had to come because we had the American Cancer Society coming to make the presentation. My committee came, and our entire committee learned to do breast self-exam. Years later, at age 37, when I found a lump and had my first mastectomy, my doctor told me I saved my own life. I will be forever grateful to the Junior League for that. It's allowed me to have the opportunity to talk with you today. In conclusion, the theme for the year when I was president was making a difference. It has become my life story. I thank the Junior League for making a huge difference in my life and for teaching me how to make a difference in others' lives. Thank you.